Hello everyone and welcome back to another WildRift character guide. Today we'll be going over Teemo, the Swift Scout. Let's begin. Teemo is a ranged magic damage marksman using his elusive abilities to harass enemies with his poison and control objectives with his traps, making him a versatile yet situational pick for the top lane. Teemo's split-pushing capabilities and map control through his mushrooms make him a valuable asset to many team compositions. Let's go over Teemo's abilities to get an understanding of just what makes this character so frustrating to lane against. Teemo's passive, Toxic Shot, makes his basic attacks poison his target, dealing bonus magic damage over time. Continuing to land auto attacks refreshes the poison's duration. This is a key part in what makes Teemo an annoying threat, as his poison can help finish off weakened enemies and whittle them down continuously. Teemo's first ability, Blinding Dart, fires a dart that blinds the target, causing them to miss their basic attacks. This is one of Teemo's strongest trade tools against auto-attack reliant characters, and the main reason why it's incredibly hard to duel with him when he has it available. Teemo's second ability, Move Quick, grants him increased movement speed when he has not taken damage from an enemy champion or turret for a certain amount of time. On activation, Teemo dashes forward, and his bonus movement speed is doubled for a short duration. This ability allows Teemo to kite enemies effectively and traverse the map with ease. Teemo's third ability, Guerrilla Warfare, allows Teemo to become camouflaged after a short wind-up for a duration. Teemo gains attack speed after leaving invisibility. If Teemo is standing still or is in brush, this ability can last indefinitely. Use this to set up ambushes, scout objectives, and surprise enemies. Teemo's ultimate, Noxious Trap, throws a poison trap that after a short delay arms itself and remains on the floor for a duration. Enemies that walk over the trap take damage over time and are slowed. If Teemo throws a mushroom onto another mushroom, it will bounce, extending the range you can place them from your initial location. This is Teemo's best tool to create a safety net when in lane, or disruption tool when in team fights or skirmishes. I recommend upgrading your first ability, followed by your third ability, and lastly your second ability. Teemo is an excellent lane bully who can dish out insane pressure when set up, but struggles when enemies manage to get too close. Abilities are on cooldown, or when he lacks the damage to remain a threat to respect, so your best items will be those that can help you create space, make you a more slippery target, lower your ability cooldowns, or flat out increase the damage of your damage over time. Items to consider include Luden's Echo, Infinity Orb, Liandry's, Nashor's Tooth, and Rabadon's. These items greatly boost Teemo's damage and bursting ability, amplifying his hit-and-run playstyle. Additionally, Crown of the Shattered Queen, Lichbane, and Riftmaker are also good picks to increase your sustain or survivability. For boots, Teemo's best option is Boots of Mana, giving him much-needed mana regeneration and Magic Pierce. For enchantments, Stasis, Quicksilver, and Repulsor are your best choices, depending on what's needed. Moving on to spells, Ignite, Barrier, and Exhaust are your best choices, depending on what you need for the situation. For runes, Teemo has a few options depending on your playstyle. You can go Electrocute for burst and hit and run tactics, or Airy for constant poke, or you can go First Strike for DPS. Secondary runes you can use include Sudden Impact, or Psychic Wave, Empowered Attack, and Eyeball Collection, followed by Giant Slayer or a Tenacity rune if you feel there's unavoidable CC on the enemy team. In the early game, focus on farming and harassing your opponent with your poison and blinds. Use your Toxic Shot passive to chip away at your opponent's health and zone them from farm. Place your traps strategically to control vision and watch for incoming ganks. Teemo has a fairly oppressive early game, using that to your advantage in winning matchups against enemies that lack gap closers, and mobility can help in snowballing your lane. As the game progresses to the late game, you can continue to split push while controlling objectives with your traps. Use your mushrooms to scout and control key areas of the map, setting up ambushes with your team, and creating pressure around choke points. In team fights, position yourself carefully to maximize your damage output while staying safe from enemy threats. Always try to target the enemy carries to disrupt their damage output while using your mushrooms to protect yourself from getting dove and giving yourself more space to work round. Number 1. Place your traps strategically in choke points, objectives, and jungle entrances to gain map control and catch enemies off guard. Use your mushrooms to create a minefield that slows and damages enemies and makes them question whether or not they should proceed with caution. Teemo is heavily reliant on his positioning and movement speed, and having a deterrent to hinder enemy movement will be the difference between living and dying in team fights and skirmishes. Number 2. Take advantage of your ability to stay camouflaged indefinitely to catch and ambush high-priority targets. Teemo's biggest strength is his ability to quickly dispatch and disrupt auto-attacking champions from engaging efficiently in team fights. Wait for your opportunity to strike, and then quickly use your auto-Q, auto-bread and butter combo to quickly burst down your target before fleeing and waiting for cooldowns. Number 3. When in a sticky situation and you need to flash to get out of it, wait until your third ability is activated before flashing. While you are camouflaged, your flash direction will also be hidden, making it even harder for enemies to track a flash direction down, making it easier to potentially get away. Some good matchups for Teemo includes champions like Darius, Kayle, Jax, Tryndamere, and Gwen. These champions can struggle against Teemo's poke and kiting abilities, making the laning phase against them fairly easy. Some bad matchups for Teemo include champions such as Garen, Sion, Urgot, Riven, and Nasus. These champions have crippling slows and sustain that can make Teemo struggle in poking them down or escaping their grasps if they attempt an all-in. If in an unfavourable matchup, consider focusing on farming and only going in to deny farm if possible. Mastering Teemo requires a combination of strategic positioning, map awareness, and adaptability to different matchups. Practice your shroom placement to control objectives and create opportunities for your team. By utilising Teemo's unique kit effectively, you can become a formidable swift scout on the Rift, dominating the top lane and influencing the outcome of matches with your cunning tactics and poisonous arsenal. If you learned something new or just enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to stay in the loop for more WildRift character guides. Comment down below who you'd like to see covered next. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.